How you doing? How you been? What's going on? What's good? How you getting it in? Body getting it funny. What's going on, people? What's going on, people? It is a day of another day we call Wednesday. Anybody being said, what's going on, people? Oh, I say I've made a lot of videos and stuff, and I forgot what today was. You know, it's a lot going on in the world we live in, and the sad part about it, you know, the targeting and the, you know, the abuse and the attack on the LGBT and, you know, and the gays and the killing and stuff, and all the reports as far as Omar and stuff, and YouTube really don't want me to report on Orlando anymore, and, you know, in life, you never know where you're going to be attacked or where it's going to come from. You know, you try to put out as much positive as far as you can in the world we live in, and I never really know where the negativity is going to come from as far as me trying to send something out to you as far as you being safe and stuff like that. And you know, and there's so much I want to tell you, but I can't really tell you because it goes through a third party. But you know, anyway, hopefully everybody's doing everything that's positive as far as living in your life and living in your dreams, as far as living in your truth, as far as fighting for your rights and your dreams and your goals. And do not let anyone deter you of the things that you want in life. No matter how much they say you can't do it, I want you to knock on the door and say, guess what? I did it. Anyway, I want to talk to you about something. I don't know if you know about this, but if you don't know, I'm going to put it back into your ear once again. It is called, once again, the Ku Klux Klan, the KKK. And the KKK has been passing out flyers in the neighborhood as far as Ocean Springs, Mississippi. Now, if you are not really aware of the KKK, and you know, that's like an organization allegedly supposed to be like a white supremacy. They basically look out for white people and stuff like that, and you know, they kind of shine a little hate on other races if you're not white, you know, of the purity that they have and stuff like that. You know, basically they're saying that they're not doing that, but I'll let you say a few flyers and you check it out what you think they do it, and remind you, they hide as this, if you feel like this, if you're spreading something that's going to be positive, why do you need sheets to hide under and cut eyeballs out? Because you don't want, you don't want anyone to see your face. Now, to me, when you need to hide your face, that means you are living not in your truth, but you're sneaking doing something you really don't feel comfortable about doing. Because if you felt comfortable with what you're doing, you wouldn't hide. You would stand in your truth. Anyway, that being said, here's a few flyers and stuff they put out there, you know, as far as, you know, targeting people and stuff, you know, on their cars. Check this out. Okay, you see that? Now, the thing is that they actually target out in Ocean Springs, in Mississippi, and they were trying to, you know, secretly send these little flyers out. This reason why I'm telling these videos is because a lot of these flyers are being distributed throughout the United States, and they're secretly doing it, but I'm here to let you know what they're doing as far as in case you don't know. Anyway, so the thing about it is that they've been spinning these flyers on top of people's houses and areas where they live and stuff like that, not really knowing who's gay, straight, because they're against the gay people as well. We're not going to start at that as well, but you know, they're against the you know, they're basically white supremacists, and they want to do things as reference to you know, the white supremacy rights, stuff like that, blah blah blah. Anyway, so I'm going to shoot this video to you and let you see what they've been targeting as far as Mississippi, and basically they put out the wrong people, which is aptly be gay people, which never went through this type of situation before, but now, welcome to the 21st century. Here we go. Here's the video.
I went out this morning to the front yard just to look around, and there was a plastic bag in the driveway with a piece of paper in it, and it had a rock in it to keep it from blowing away.
Inside of that bag, Ocean Springs resident Doug Myatt found a flyer from a branch of the Ku Klux Klan. The flyer included paragraphs filled with hate toward the LGBT community.
I don't know if we were targeted or not, but I felt really threatened. It was really unsettling. I was very upset.
Doug and his fiance Brandon have lived in the area for years, and this is the first time the couple has experienced anything like this. After speaking with neighbors, the couple realized they weren't the only ones to receive the letter from the KKK. Multiple people on neighboring streets and on the same streets received the same note in the plastic bag with the rock as well.
And I'm afraid they really believe the things that they're saying. That's what's so terrifying, is that that mentality continues to exist in 21st century Mississippi.
The Ocean Springs Police Department is collecting surveillance video from homes along the street to help identify the individuals responsible.
I just think that the KKK and all of these other hate groups are just cowards. And it's our responsibility as citizens who disagree with them to call it out when this sort of thing happens.
The KKK flyer just solidified both Campbell and Myatt's resolve to help make the Ocean Springs community and the state of Mississippi a place where all types of people feel welcome.
I'm not going to be quiet. And I've not been real quiet, but I'm not going to be quiet anymore, and I'm going to do anything I can to see that this comes to an end.
So that, you know, it's really sad, you know, you're trying to live in your truth and stuff, and you're living your life, and people always say, come out the closet, come out the closet. It makes you wonder if you're coming out the closet, will they have a gun and you wait for you to come out as if they want to attack you. Anyway. So I don't know if you're about this, but there's flyers going around as far as in New York City, as far as, you know, being gay bash and stuff. And here's the flyer that they put out as far as being gay bash. They're telling the people to basically, they're sending out flyers telling you to bash gay people. Look at this. You see that? Now the thing about it is that you're telling people to commit a crime, to do something to another human being that has nothing to do with you. You know, my thing is just live and let live, but, you know, that's my philosophy, but, you know, that's what it is. Also, of course, they target the transgender community, and they said in the flyer that a woman shall not wear that pertaineth unto man, neither shall a man put on a garment, for all that do are abomination unto the Lord thy God. You know, and that's so amazing to me when they're reading this stuff. And, you know, I do believe in the Bible and stuff. I don't believe everything is written in the Bible by, come from the Lord and stuff. I do believe it's man-made. And I also believe that people, you know, the sad part about it, sometimes people believe anything. But let me show you the flyer real quick. Check this out. Okay, you see that? Now the thing about, like I said before, people believe it. They say, well, it's in the Bible, it's in the Bible, it has to be true, you know. But my thing is this, is that we've been lied to over and over and over again. And then they always saying, you know, a reference to shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all are an abomination unto the Lord thy God. But back then, there were no pants. When God walked the earth, everybody wore gowns and dresses and gowns and skilts. That's later on, but they all wore gowns. So where is the pants at then? Where is these pants at in your Bible? I don't see pants on in these Bibles. You know, and it's so amazing how people don't even listen to the message, and they don't even do their research when it comes down to the stuff they're being taught. They just say, oh, well, this is what is this? Well, maybe they didn't have it then. You know, but like I said before, I don't change people's mind. When your mind is made up as far as your hate, I'm not gonna argue with you. I do not feel as though anything we're gonna go back and forth is gonna be we're not gonna reconcile anything, because the fact of the matter is your mind is made up. It's a waste of my time. If that's where you're at in your life, so be it. Anyway, so there was even flyers that was even put in New York and Jackson Heights. Now, I don't know if you know about this, but the city council member, Donald Drum, openly gay, came out in 1992. Here's the picture right here. Okay, now he was a little shocked and stuff like that, you know, because people putting up flyers around in Queens, New York, and they're basically, of course, bashing gay people, and basically they actually want to try to do something as far as killing them. Here's the footage right here.
Well, it's a neighborhood that is known as a safe haven for the LGBT community, but tonight people in Jackson Heights say they're being threatened with anti-gay messages. 611's James Ford right now, live in Queens with more details. James.
And you mentioned some of this, but let's point this out. Jackson Heights has a gay pride parade, a neighborhood gay pride parade, and has had one for nearly a quarter century. And for years, its city council member is openly gay. So you can imagine his and neighbors' responses when flyers were left on the many cars out here calling for the worst possible fate for gay people.
This flyer actually called for gay people to die, and that's what makes this difference, and that's what I think people in the community are so upset about.
Jackson Heights council member Daniel Drum is talking about this flyer left on cars in his neighborhood last weekend, criticizing gays, and with this phrase at the end, that gays are, look at that, doomed to die. Drum is himself openly gay.
Obviously, cowards, which I think these people are, don't put any identification on those flyers. But we're hearing reports from neighbors that they may have some information, and so I hope that they'll come forward with any information that they have and let us know so that we can track down who's doing this.
And he points out that this incident was brought to his attention by people who are not gay. But he has gone to the NYPD and detectives there now investigating this as a potential hate crime. The challenge is finding out who is behind this since these flyers were anonymous.
Okay, you see that? Now, he's also saying, he's trying to get surveillance cameras and find out surveillance camera to find out if they could find the information reference to the person that passing these type of flyers as far as hate crime. You know what amazes me, the Christian stuff like that, we say, we use God, but I learned one thing, I had to sit back and work on myself within my mind. I had to learn that there's two gods. And see, that's where I think we're all missing the thing. There is a God of love, and there is a God of hate. Now, the God of hate we call the devil. Now, I don't know if nobody's really listened to their story, but if you listen to God and you say love and love thy neighbor and care about child and, abandonment, help homeless person, feed, stuff like that, and you listen to God and say, well, kill a person, take stones and mash them down and, stone them to death and hang them and kill them and, do stuff, that's the God of hate, which we call Lucifer. So their God is the devil. So they're worshiping the devil, but they're trying to, if you don't really listen to it really clear and not listen to what they're saying, we listen to what they're saying. We know that their God is not the God of love, it's the God of hate. No, we know it's Lucifer, a fallen angel from heaven. Anyway, so the thing about it is that my thing is this, I'm not here to change your mind or anything you want to feel, because that's where you are in life. I'm not in the business of changing people's mind. All I'm sitting up here doing right here is telling you about this flyer that's amongst hate, once again, of people who serving their own God, which is the Lucifer. And my thing is that I'm not going to argue with them with that, and that's where they're at in life, and do that. But it has nothing to do with us. That's why I'm just letting you know, as far as being true to you, living your truth, and to be safe. People are passing out flyers, so always be safe and always be aware of where you are in your surroundings. Anyway, that being said, and rest in peace for all the people who've been murdered to hate crimes. They're called hate crimes for a reason. They're called hate crimes for a reason, but it is what it is. And like I said before, I haven't been able to do this because I've been mentally exhausted. The thing about it with me is I see a lot and I hear a lot, and I'm a Gemini, so I'm always thinking, and I can't believe this minister is saying this, I can't believe this person is promoting hate. I can't believe this transgender is talking about somebody else leaving them for life. I can't believe this gay person is making fun of this other gay person. It just sits back me and it makes me go, wow. It makes me to a point where I sit still. I sit so still because I can't believe, it's so much has happened in this world as far as pulling us together, as far as being in the LGBT, as far as pulling us together to unite better and be much more better to each other. But I cannot believe how I still see it goes on. You know, the sad part about it, I can sit up here and try to, you know, sit up and say, well, you know, the society just attacks us, but then I watch what we do as far as attacks the transgenders, makes fun of the other transgender, the gay people makes fun of the gay people want to out the trans woman and put them on blast. And the simple fact of the matter is that we need to clean up our own yard before we talk about what society needs to do as far as ourselves. My thing is this, is that I get mentally exhausted and I just have to step back. You know, I can't keep going after them when we're not even doing what we need to do within ourselves. You know, and the sad part about it is that we should be much more better at helping one another. When you see your transgender sisters out there and you see she's struggling, she's trying to get my gay brothers and my gay sisters, you could try to help her. As far as vice versa, you know, but the thing about it is that you're so worried about what people are going to say about you for helping another human being, we forget about that, you know, and it's so sad because sometimes I don't feel as though people are so connected to the hearts like they try to represent that they do. I just don't. I just don't, and I'm really drained. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I don't feel comfortable around. I don't feel comfortable around the gays. I don't feel comfortable around the straights. I don't know if the man that's going to come in my life is going to represent to kill me, and because simple fact of the matter is he wants his secret to remain a secret, and you know it just leads you to a point where you just go, I just don't want no one around me because I don't feel safe. You know, I just want to know this question to you. As a gay person or as a trans woman or as a person of LGBT experience, do you honestly feel safe amongst the people that's supposed to support you and help you in your LGBT? We know about what society do. We get that. See, I can recognize it as someone who's against me, and I can appreciate them letting me know how they feel so I know to step away. But the one I question is the one who's in the LGBT that's supposed to support me and stand with me. Are they really with me? You know, because my thing is just a lot of times, a lot of us are not, you know, and I listen to a lot of things and I watch a lot of people's videos. I don't make comments. I just sit and talk. And I stand very still, because I know if I say something, I'm only going to get a backlash from them. And a lot of times, I don't even want to hear it. I really don't. I really don't. Because I learned in life is that when a situation turns around and it's them being attacked now or they're being an assault, oh, I need people to understand my situation. So, you know, and I just shouldn't shout and stuff. But I just want to know to my LGBT and my whatever case may be is in this lifestyle, or someone just different. Do you honestly feel as though you feel safe with your LGBT people, that they actually stand there and support you and stand with you in a unity as for all we've been through? Do you honestly feel as though they stand with you and fight with you? Or do you feel as though a lot of them still come for you as well? You know, and it's sad, but it's real. And I just want to know, because this is why I sit still. I sit very still. Anyway, better say, I want to tell you I love you, because tomorrow is never promised to any of us. And I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I want you to do you. I want you the best way that you can. And if nobody likes it,